I think we've had about, of the 50 states, we've had at least 46 people to attend. So it's going to be definitely a very informative workshop. And also it's going to give you an opportunity to network. Because you're getting people from around the country, you definitely want to network. You never know if you want to partner into a state-by-state approach. So that's important too. Next person.
Hi, my name is Ruby.
We've had about, of the 50 states, we've had at least 46 people to attend. So it's going to be definitely a very informative workshop. And also it's going to give you an opportunity to network. Because you're getting people from around the country, you definitely want to network. You never know if you want to partner into a state-by-state approach. So that's important too. Next person.
Hi, my name is Ruby.
We've had about, of the 50 states, we've had at least 46 people to attend. So it's going to be definitely a very informative workshop. And also it's going to give you an opportunity to network. Because you're getting people from around the country, you definitely want to network. You never know if you want to partner into a state-by-state approach. So that's important too. Next person.
Hi, my name is Ruby.
We've had about, of the 50 states, we've had at least 46 people to attend. So it's going to be definitely a very informative workshop. And also it's going to give you an opportunity to network. Because you're getting people from around the country, you definitely want to network. You never know if you want to partner into
Facebook as well.
a state-by-state approach. So that's important too. Next person.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, what was that again?
I said, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of cooking, so if you hear a lot of noise.
That's okay. Of the 50 states, we've had at least 46 people to attend. So go ahead and do what you do. This is called Eldo 9. You got to cook and you got to listen. Yes. Anybody else?
I'm from Wisconsin.
Okay, continue.
And I have a 501c3. And I've been trying to, launch it and get support for it. And I've even paid some websites, and I have a website. And I've been paying out to try to find the information that you're sharing. But I was wondering if you work with the northern region, or is there somebody up here in my region that could help me process a funding for my nonprofit?
As I say, we work in the United States. We work in about, in your area also, 45 states all over the place.
Oh.
And not only, like I say, we also do work in Africa. We do work in the Middle East. We also do work in Latin America. So when I say we universal, it's because look, problems are all over the world. And the way you solve problems is through nonprofit. So I hope that addressed your question. In fact, I'll be sending everybody more information on what we do after this meeting by way of email. So any other questions before we move forward?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I assume that we're good to go. Let's continue.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I assume that we're good to go. Let's continue.
Good. Let's move on.
Relate to your nonprofit. Is your name, I think it's Nelson is your last name?
Yes, sir.
Good. When I look at the emails, I'll make sure that I'll email you specifically related to your nonprofit.
Yes, sir.
Good. When I look at the emails, I'll make sure that I'll email you specifically related to your nonprofit. See, nonprofit rocks, and what's happening is that a lot of times, a lot of folks will say start the 501c3, but they're gonna give you the insight as to where do you take it once you get it, and that's what we do.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what
They did it. They did it. one thing I was going to ask you about that solicitation forms for charitable organizations and sponsors. Will I find that in my state at the government building?
Yes.
They didn't tell
All
me.
you have to do is you can Google everything. Google is my best friend. All you got to do is put in nonprofit solicitation and put in your state.
Nonprofit solicitations for Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah, and it'll come up. And even if you're in New York, you can do the same thing. Nonprofit solicitation, New York. It'll take you directly to that department that deals with solicitation. But a lot of people don't know this, and they don't learn about it till later on when they come knock on the door to say, hey, look, cease and desist, and they can penalize you, and I mean dearly penalize you, and they can charge you with criminal charges. The federal government can come at you because they say you're not paying taxes. All kinds of things can happen in the state. That means not the federal government, but the state can come after you, since the federal government gives you exemption on the state level. On the federal level. Okay, folks, if that's it.
Went from 4 to 8 weeks, 15 lessons. Our deliverables for this class is to A, teach you how to write a grant, and B, and teach you how to make a side hustle. Because once you learn how to write a grant, you can write a grant not only for your organization, but you also can learn how to bring additional monies, especially during this time of economic crisis in our country. So I hope everybody has benefited from this class. I'll be sending you information on the other component, that is the 501c3 preparation. I'll give you the fees and service that we charge to work with you to start.
Okay, let me come out of this.
That 501c3.
Hold on 1 second, folks. I'm trying to come back to class. Okay, I did that. Let me come back. So that's the class. I'm going to start it back again at about 7:20, because I know more people are coming in. I do want to apologize. Again, there was a time conflict. When you went to Facebook, it says 6 p.m. And when you went to register, it says 7 p.m. So that's why I'm willing to do the class, start back over again after this class for those that came in late. But until then, let me get some input, some insights, some feedback. Did it help? And if it helped, in what way did it help you? Anybody can jump in. Okay, well, I hope that it provides you with a wealth of information. I told you earlier that it was going to be a comprehensive a workshop that was holistic and in depth. Most workshops that you attend only touch, and you pay. Most workshops only touch on about 15 to 20% of what we talk about. Because to be a nonprofit and to operate effectively, you have to have the tools necessary in order to be successful. And that's what we do. We provide training anywhere from how to start that nonprofit in terms of the paperwork, to grant writing, subscription plan, all the way to when you open those doors and you are operational. Because the problem is that in this world, because there's so many people going for money, and there's so least money that's out there, normally only the elite get that money. Meanwhile, people who are on the ground level, who saw and see a problem in their neighborhood, they never reach that level because they don't have the tools in order to be considered for the money that's out there. So this whole objective here in these classes is to level the playing field. Folks are suffering out here from cancer, from other health problems, to losing kids in the streets. to dealing with losing their job, to mental health, and they want to solve a problem. But unfortunately, the way the system is set up, unless you have the tool chest to do it, you don't get there. That's why we do what we do. We make it so the mom and pop operation that only wants to make a change, they got the skill set necessary to make that change. And like y'all, we are a nonprofit. That's why our prices are as cheap as they are, because we are a nonprofit. And at the end of the day, the objective is to be able to see people who are falling through the safety net with an organization like your organization to provide that service that's needed, from homelessness, mental health, crime in the neighborhood, substance abuse. I can go on, child abuse. There are so many problems in the world that's going on today. You see, you as nonprofits, you rock, because nobody else is coming to solve the problem. So before I start the next class, and the class is just a repeat of the video for those that came in late. Any questions before I start the video all over again? Any questions? Everybody good? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is to restart the video again for anybody that came in late. And again, I want to thank everybody for attending the class, because I see people from around, not only here in the United States, but from around the country. When I looked in my sign-in sheet to see who registered, over 63 people have registered for this class. Some of you are looking at it by way of YouTube Live. Some of you are here now doing it, but we have people from around the country. When I tell you, we got people from Jamaica, we got people from Puerto Rico, we got people from Africa, from the Middle East and Latin America, and here in the United States. Today, we got over 25 states that are taking part in this particular class. So, having said that, if no one has anything else to say, I'm going to go back to you and start the video all over.
Is with regards to what you talked about, conflict of interest. I understand that members of the board for a nonprofit organization cannot receive any payment of some sort, which makes sense. But then my question is that, let's say the nonprofit organization wants to hire an outsider or somebody to fundraise on their behalf so that they can pay them. So let's say there's an independent person who fundraises on behalf of nonprofit organizations. Can a nonprofit organization hire such a person to fundraise for them and perhaps pay them as a commission from whatever they raise out of that fundraising?
Yes, 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 and yes, and yes. Your whole objective is to bring in money. Money makes money. So when you hire that person, you hire that person because you expect for whatever you pay him to get 20 times the amount that you paid him. So yes, sir. Good question. Any other questions before we move forward? Excellent.
Okay. Now, the next section is going to talk about the grant. The learning objectives by the end of this section will enable people that's taking part of this class to know the different types of grants. You should be able to describe the different types of grantors, identify the research tools available to go after the money, where the money is. After this class, you will know. You should be able to describe the fundamentals of writing a grant. You should have an understanding of the proposal writing process. You should understand what a concept paper is, letter of intent, and you should learn some new terms. And then finally, you should begin now to talk about what are your next steps in terms of going after the money. The other component, that is the 501c3 preparation.
So we come to the end of the class. Okay, right. Let me see. Okay, so are there any questions? I want to thank everybody again for attending tonight's class. We're going to be doing another class in April, May, June, July, and August. Because of they're going to operate differently. As you can see by this map, to date where we are. In every state that we're located, we have the initials C, N, C, D. Our objective by the end of this year is to have every state in the union to have taken part in this class. Again, we want to thank everybody who took part in the class. My email is Center for Nonprofit and Community at gmail.com. Again, that's Center for Nonprofit and Community at gmail.com. Don't put in Center for Nonprofit at Community Development. Put in Center for Nonprofit and Community at gmail.com. Center for Nonprofit and Community at gmail.com. And find us on Facebook or on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/c/ let me go over it again. If you can find us on YouTube on youtube.com/c/Michael Randolph. You're going to learn about a lot of things we're doing on that particular site. So we hope to see you for the next class and join us. We got classes that's going to blow your mind and at the same time provide you with the information you need to be an effective nonprofit. Thank you for taking part in this